Hi, Nicholas Jackman here with Focus Gaming News. Tiago Almeida from Oddsgate, bringing gaming infrastructure with utility, focus, and integrity. Right. Good to see you. You're setting up an office here in South America, right?
Yeah, we are, Nicholas. 2025 is a very important year for Oddsgate. First of all, in January, we shift 7 operators to the Brazilian regulated markets. These are operators that started 3 years ago when we founded the company with us. Still, waiting to transit, let's say, for the regulated Brazilian market. And January, let's say, was the moment that we finally did it. So now we are setting up an office here in São Paulo. We are recruiting the first team members, our country manager. So yeah, very exciting time.
Great. And you were waiting for Brazil to be ready. We're waiting for Brazil to regulate. How are you finding it? Is it a good system? Is it a clear system? Is it a straightforward system?
I mean, the system is perhaps people always have this opinion that the system could be better or certain things could be done in a different way. But for me and let's say for our company, the most important was that we were able to finally address a matter that was pending since 2018 when President Temer introduced for the first time the framework, and then of course when President Lula in 2023 finally prepared the bill. What we see, what we feel is for the first time the player is protected, and that is the most important. Operators can finally address the market, they can finally invest with clear and straightforward rules, and we have, let's say, the opportunity to assist in setting up the correct strategy to bring sustainability to their business and to their operations. What we see today is that players are protected. We believe that there are clear rules for players, let's say, to engage with the brands. And more important, you have transparency, right? We have companies paying millions and millions of reais in taxes. We see charity causes being supported officially, with a lot of transparency. This is a country that definitely needs investment. This is a country that needs to monetize every little emergent industry that can address. So for us, this is the perfect timing, and we couldn't be happier with regulation, even if there is still a lot to resolve and to polish, namely taxes, namely synergies. I think operators here in Brazil are very talented. They are very motivated to find excellence, and it's a matter of time.
It's great. And I guess Brazil coming on stream, these tens, hundreds, millions of individuals and 50 million players and such. How have you found? So you're originally based around Lisbon is kind of the main focus. What's been the key differential you found here? Has the scale of this place has it been off-putting in any way?
Yeah, the scale was definitely interesting, and for us, we found that the language synergies we have with this broader country that is Brazil was probably one of the factors that would be important for Oddsgate to develop clients, right? We are not only a platform, we are also, let's say, consultants. We push operators forward. And naturally here, and we felt this when we started 3 years ago, as I was saying, content, learning, academies, we were not here, right? So we had somehow to use our experience working in other markets with other regulators, shifting technology to this, let's say, regulated markets, and to somehow translate these experiences into the Brazilian market. It was very good to understand that this scale that you're talking about, it was much bigger than we originally thought. 7, 8 years ago, when I started to interact with the first operators, the market was still brick and mortar, right? So you had shops, lotteries, and online was still, let's say, hard. This was before Pix, so you didn't have, let's say, the instant bank transfers you have now, seamless, fast, cheap. And it was hard for the operators, let's say, to position themselves and to find the audiences. With in 2020, first, let's say, the introduction of Pix, and then COVID played a very important role. We were able, let's say, to see the potential of these operators finally coming, and when they embrace this online channel, right, it was fast and furious, I need to tell you, and the scale was definitely much, much bigger than we thought. Today we have around 28 million active players in our 7 brands. We are supporting 7 brands here, and we have a turnover above 7 billion Brazilian reais. and this number doesn't stop growing, which is a very good surprise, right?
Great. And these three operators now that you're bringing into the Brazilian market, you're helping them with everything from like paid search, SEO, consultancy, compliance. The list goes on, right? So you're kind of an all-in-one, a one-stop shop, effectively, for an operator who wants to break into new markets, or in terms of push forward, as you say.
Correct, because you can always improve, right? Any bookmaker in the world can always improve, and the perhaps the secret to remain relevant is to always push your teams forward and always try to find the best practices. And here is definitely where we have value, right? Because there are many great companies out there providing technology. Technology is more or less the same. Technology is certified or certifiable, and we're all seamless, we're all fast, we're all reliable, right? Then the difference is exactly how you motivate your operators and you teach them how to use the synergies that the technology is bringing to make their process easier. For these 7 brands that we are helping now with the Brazilian regulated market, yes, managed services is important. Not that the operator can't do it themselves, they can. Actually, they can do it very well. But sometimes this external perspective of certain things in their operations and the fact that we can benchmark operator A against operator B is one of the keys of the success, because we can always say, hey, you are promoting this specific game, but perhaps you're cannibalizing certain part of your audience, because there are new suppliers, there are new content suppliers that are providing these games. We see this work in Europe, we saw this working in Africa. Why you don't give it a try, right? Maybe combine this with programmatic advertising, maybe do this for your CRM, with your CRM teams, and the results will come. And this is what we're seeing.
Oh. But then we're another area. What works in one region might not work in another. Any differences that you found here?
Yes, Brazil is definitely very different from city to city, from state to state. Our advice to operators is always try to find within your organization brigades, so smaller teams that can address specific states or specific cities of Brazil, because the expression you use in Maranhão is not the same expression you use in Bahia, right? So, and in São Paulo is completely different from Rio. So you have at least a dozen countries inside this country that is Brazil. And because of the dimension, because of the cultural differences, it's very important for the operators to stay relevant. This comes from content, this comes from, let's say, certain keywords, if you want to convert the traffic, if you want to retain the traffic. And it's very important, let's say, to have within your organization different people, different, let's say, skills, soft skills that can definitely engage with the audiences that are coming from these regions. Not only because you have, let's say, different ways to engage with the operator, but it's very important to stay relevant and sustainable, right? You don't want to, let's say, over promote your brand. You don't want to extend your budget in the wrong audiences. And a 0.5% improvement can make a big difference. And it's definitely what we're doing here.
Kaizen.
Yeah.
Kaizen, 0.5% a day. So a lot of this will rest upon the shoulders of the country manager, right? That's the superstar player for you guys in the country. How did you go about your search? Is it still ongoing?
It's finalized. That person is actually starting on the 1st of July. I can't disclose it yet because there are still certain things that we need to protect the secrecy of that specific individual. But yes, that is definitely one of the things that can have a lot of value, because this person is, let's say, capable of interacting with the different stakeholders we have here in Brazil. Companies like Meta, companies like Google. It's not that the operators are not there yet; they are. But because we can benchmark, this is perhaps where we can bring, let's say, certain things that we have done in Europe in terms of specific add-ons to these campaigns, to this specific investment, and seek this continuous improvement that we're talking about before.
Tiago, could you, I guess, we're here now, we're in the future, but back in the past, what's the Oddsgate story?
Well, Oddsgate story is quite curious. We in 2022, we understood that the Brazilian market was one of the markets where we should definitely focus, because back in the day you didn't have, let's say, many companies offering a turnkey solution, right? So you have emerging operators looking for the best solutions in the market, and it was very hard because you couldn't find, let's say, the right people with the right knowledge of this market. And we had this knowledge already, because I was the founder and CEO of Sporting Tech, which is a very strong platform here in Brazil also. And I thought, well, I think it's the perfect time now to start a new venture, because I see the appetite. I see that in a few years this market is going to regulate, and we need to help operators to pursue the right model and the right angle here, because otherwise we can lose massive opportunities, and Brazil can lose the opportunity also to regulate in the right direction. So for us, it was very important to bring a bit the experience we had in Europe in terms of finding the best practices, and this was what motivated us in 2022. Today, after let's say 3 years, we look back and we are definitely proud, because starting operations from zero, we never took a migration, right? In the sense that there's a client coming from platform A and we are platform B. So all these operations were built from zero. And I think this was, let's say, the added value we could bring as a company when we started. And this was our mission and our motto.
So they migrate their existing business onto your platform.
They started with that from zero.
Start from zero, these guys. All right. How have you found the barriers to entry here? What difficulties do you need to surmount here?
First of all, we have, let's say, technical compliance barriers. That's, I think, in any market, it's always complicated, it's always tricky. But here in Brazil, let's say, you have certain data delivery obligations that are tricky, not because it's impossible to do it, but because you need very specific teams that can have these daily routines and these hourly routines. It's challenging. You need to work very closely with laboratories. We partner with GLI, of course, for this challenge, and we got, let's say, a lot of added value on the specific topic. But it's probably one of the areas where we felt, well, this is challenging. We brought this experience from Portugal, which is also very challenged, and of course we have the language synergies here that allow us still in December to comply with these technical standards. And since January, we are learning. We are perfecting the process. We are polishing the processes with our operators, and we are learning on a daily basis.
So the language synergy was huge. One thing that struck me when you were talking earlier, saying for the first time here in Brazil, the player is protected, and I think that feeds into the idea that you are you're a company that focuses on integrity. Cool. I guess, where does that come from? Have you seen, I guess, operators operate without integrity, etc., companies, and something that you want to kind of make sure is part and parcel, or goes along with the name Oddsgate, yeah?
Yeah, correct. Because as people of the industry, right, we want to be here in 10, 15 years, right? Our operators should be here in 10, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years, right? We want to leave a legacy that proves that the gambling industry is composed of people with integrity, with values. I think in our past we saw this. We saw operators without looking for the fast buck, right? And this is not this is not aligned with the industry best practices, right? I think we are probably the industry in the world that is more regulated, even more with banks sometimes. And if we want to protect the foundation of this industry, that is the player, we need to go the extra mile. We need to walk the extra mile and confirm that what we want to achieve is definitely what the player is looking for. Players are looking for entertainment. They are looking for amusement. They are not looking to have a negative experience. It's like when I go to the movies, when I go to a restaurant, right? I'm playing my 20, 30 Brazilian reais. I want to entertain myself. I don't want to deposit and understand later that I will not be able to withdraw because the operator is rogue, right? So for Oddsgate, it was very important to create an ecosystem where operators understand that we have a code of conduct, right? If you are starting with us today, in 1 year you need to achieve this, this, and that. So you need to be certified. You need to comply with IBEA. You need to comply with certain members of our industry that will allow us to position ourselves in the right place, in the right time, and of course, be an example. Last night, we saw very interesting examples of charity, of foundations. I think this is where the gambling industry needs to be, right? We need to position ourselves in a way where we say we are here to stay.
Like, business intelligence, intelligent business, good business. What are you guys? I guess, what's your new plans, your ideas? Anything you want to let us know that you guys are up to?
Yeah, so for us now we are in the moment where we are presenting our platform, our new solution for the Brazilian regulated market. We are working very hard in a new aggregation of certain services, namely business intelligence. I think this is where we have a lot of data that we can supply to our operators. We are going to showcase this technology during the next days. our operators have, let's say, as I said before, more than 7 billion PIs of monthly bets. So we have a lot of insights to share. And I think here's definitely where we can help operators to reactivate certain players that are churn, that we can help operators to understand, hey, maybe this certain content is more sustainable because the volatility is a bit different. So the player will feel more rewarded, more entertained. These are the kind of things that we like to share together, of course, with our process of continuous improvement.
Operators' futures are, I guess, benefited from Oddsgate's past, right? And all the information you've collected of extraordinary use. It's wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Signing off, Nicholas Jackman with Focus Gaming.